Hello, hello, happy Tuesday. It's really snuck up on me today because it's been a bank holiday weekend. I thought today was Monday, so I thought tomorrow was video day, and I'm a day behind. And we have been so busy, absolutely so busy. I actually didn't know what I was going to film until about 5 minutes ago. But I still have book pages, and this is again, as we do, some scraps. And I'm just going to work with these for the first half of the video. We're just dealing with book pages and scraps. But I'm going to start with kind of what is, I would call a make ahead. And we're going to make some scrappy tags that will go in any journal and suit every project. So let's get started. I'm just going to have a little sip of tea. So I'm going to put my scraps aside for a minute. Start with these book pages. And I'm going to start with the biggest ones first. Put my glasses on so I can see. And I'm just going to tear off these big corners, these big edges. I love this particular book. You might just need to kind of tear off some plain edges. So I'm going to do that. And these I'm going to do something with. So I'm going to put those aside. Then I'm going to grab this page, this is slightly more sturdy. It's a little bit of a thicker page, but again, I'm going to tear off these kind of white edges. We don't want those. And I'm not particularly bothered. This might be good. Some of those might be good. We'll keep those aside. And then I have an little page, a little one. So I'm just going to tear off the edges. Ooh, some of these are no good. That one I might use. Basically, I want to get rid of the white. You might not want to get rid of that plain edge. You might want to keep it. So I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm going to start with this one because this is the thickest page. This is the sturdiest book page I've got. And for a base, you want quite a sturdy page. Now, what you need to do is decide how big you want to make your tags. And I want mine pretty standard tag size. So all I'm going to do is take that off. And I've got this. Now I'm going to grab my glue stick. I think I'm going to have that upside down and about there. And I'm just going to glue this on very loosely. Glue that on about there. And then I'm going to tear off a piece of this and I'm going to glue this on. Now this is not new. Anything that's a bit loose, just glue down. We don't necessarily need to worry too much. I don't know if this is quite thick enough yet. Let's have a little bit sideways. Just going to glue that there, and maybe let's kind of have that a little bit there. Right, so it kind of looks a little bit of a mess. It's basically just a little scrappy book page collage, isn't it? That's what we've got. Now I'm going to grab out my scraps. Because what we want is something fairly plain on the top here. Let's start with a plain scrap. So I'm going to tear this into a kind of rectangular shape. I like that. I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to glue that there. So now we have kind of our scrappy collage paper tag. One's not really enough. So I'm going to make 4 more and speed this up. we now have 5 scrappy tags. If you've seen my video on different materials to make bases, so for example this one's envelopes, you could just pop that on top of a tag, so it's a tag topper. You could decorate it and pop it on top of a notebook or a journal. You could decorate this and add it to a page in a journal. It could become so many things just by making this little scrappy piece. So what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to take them a little step further, and I'm going to do some sewing on mine, and I'm going to sew around the outside of the tag and then a little bit on the inside of this little panel that I've added. And then what I'm going to do is show you some ideas of how we can decorate these to suit different styles of journal. I have done some really kind of scrappy sewing around mine. I've tried to leave quite a lot of threads. So I have my 5 tags. I love them, and if you've got a whole bunch of these in your stash, you could do so many things with them. I'm going to do is have a look and maybe play with, let's try one with some stickers. So I've got a little pack of stickers here. I've got toadstools. Let's see, they're not particularly large. Kind of works well with the red. Nope, I think I like that toadstool on that tag. I'm not going to try and put those away. They're going to go back in my sticker drawer. Right, so he's going to go on here, but before I add him, I'm going to do a little bit of inking, and I'm going to use my brush, and I'm going to use walnut stain, and I'm just going to grunge it up a little bit here and there. And now I'm just going to grab out some stamps. Okay, so this is some of the toadstool stamps from Tim Holtz. I've got my black archival ink. I'm going to grab this kind of dotty. Looks a little bit like paint splatters, which I love. Just add that and a few here and there. And I'm also going to add a little bit of text, but I'm going to use my stamp block for this because I want this one to be a little bit more controlled. And I think I'm going to put a bit there, and then I'm going to put a bit there like that. And now I'm going to go for a little bit of archival red, and I'm going to use this one, which is also part of the toadstool set. That. Let's put that there. Now I'm going to add my sticker. Wow, that peeled off really easily. That was a surprise. That never happens. I think we need a nice big bold number on here. And I think I'm going to do this in black also. And hopefully we're going to get that to, ooh, hopefully that will be seen. Love it. So that is kind of tag number 1 from our scrappy background. Now, if I had more time and space and I hadn't got such a mess out, I would probably do some paint splatters on here. But for now, we're going to call that one done. Right, so this time I'm going to use some of my little leaves that are in laminate. This is a Tim Holtz stamp that I've used onto scrap laminate, and these are also Tim Holtz stamps onto scrap laminate, but these are the ones that are made with the matte laminate. So these are all the clear and these are matte. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as yet. Let's have a little play around. So I'm going to trim here and here like that, and that's kind of a little bit scrappy. Do I want another piece of book page under there? I don't know that I do. Okay, I'm going to add this to my tag, but what I want to do is actually sew this directly on. So if he's going to go roughly there, I'm going to just have a little look at my stamps again. I'm going to come back to, once again, my spotty Tim Holtz stamp. This is from the Toadstools kit. And I'm just going to add some little, oh, got a little bit of a, let's try and cover that up a little bit. Just clean this off a minute. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the red. Oh, oh dear. Okay, I can maneuver around that. And then I'm going to take also a little bit of the green. Let's clean that stamp off a little bit. I'm going to sew my leaf into place. So this one I'm kind of happy with, but I think it needs a label. I do think it needs a label, and I want something maybe with a little bit of colour actually. No, that one. I'm going to ink this. Let's put this down with a little bit of glue. I'm just going to take some of that off. That down there. That's a perfect little section there for that to go into. And then I have these little labels inspired by Tony. And what I think I'm going to do, I do want that on there, I think. I'm going to just add that using my tiny attacher. Just one. So that is our tag number 2. So for the third one, I'm going to use some of the freebie from a previous video. I'll link that here somewhere if I can. If not, it will be in the description box. Let's see. This is quite wide, but I really want to use that. I think I'm going to put it on here. So what I'm going to do is, this is actually this has been printed onto a semi-gloss photo paper. I'm going to cut this part of the envelope out. Like that. Got some of my little fake mica here. Kind of loving how this looks over these images. It's a bit of an addiction, gotta be honest. Let's just cut that. And I'm gonna actually ink this one again. So let's get some ink on here and grungy this up a little bit. Let's see how this is going to look. Yeah, I'm going to go back to my dots. And again, like I said, if I had more time and a little bit more space, I would probably do some paint splatters. But I have Craftly Haul all over and just do not have the kind of space really that I would like. Now I'm going to sew my little pocket and these together, and I'll be back. Okay, so we have that, and our little people will kind of slot into our pocket. And then we've got some of the words. So I think we've got a little spot here that would be perfect. Let's go for lost and found. A little bit of glue on there. So that's number 3, is it? 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes. And for these last 2, I am going to use, I think, some Craftly Haul. So I know it's another digital kit. Just pulled out a few of the Craftly Haul bits and pieces. So I'm going to give the tag a good ink as well to grunge this up a bit. Now that one I'm quite happy having a little bit lighter, but this one over here I'm going to come in with some scorched timber because I think I want this nice and dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go round some areas here with this really dark ink. Why not? Yep, I like that. I think I might actually need to use a little bit more of my fake mica. So I'm just going to cut a strip first of all. And we might have to cut this down a little bit. Yep. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just down the middle here. And put that there. And then I'm going to add this over the top. And I'm literally going to sew around. But we might need to add a little bit out, a little bit more. So I quite like that lost and found. I think that works quite well. And give that a little bit of an ink. That's quite grungy now. Glue that in. Yeah, I think I'm going to sew this. But before we do, let's have a little look at this one. Now, this one's quite plain. What I'm going to do is, because we're not going kind of creepy, crafty haul with this one, I'm going to just grab these Tim Holtz words and see what we've got here. I'm going to go for keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. So I'm going to cut it, stick that down. I'm going to use glue as well, so just going to ink the edge of these because they're still very white when you cut them out. When you take them out of the sticker book, the edges are still very white. So let's glue this. And I know I've used it a lot, but I still think I'm going to add a little bit of my fake mica to this. Just going to trim a little piece off. I kind of like the cut on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to glue my mica down. I'm actually going to sew my mica down. So we have 2 Craftly Haul Scrappy tags too. Love them. We have Craftly Haul digital kits. We have one made with a freebie kit. We have one made with laminate elements and stamping. And then we have one made with just a sticker and some stamps. So we've got 4 kind of different themed pieces here just from our Scrappy Tag backgrounds. Now I'm going to make a few more with some portraits and I will show you those at the end. So thank you so much for joining me. I think it turned out pretty well considering I didn't know what I was going to do when I got up this morning. I didn't even realise it was Tuesday. The 1st of June will be kicking off Craftly Haul. The newsletter is out today, so keep an eye on your inbox. Also, the Foxy Rag is out really soon. So, there are lots to come. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.